afternoon, everyone. This is RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, October 9, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We had technical difficulties, as you all know, yesterday, and the recording for the tfcc didn't take, as well as we had interruption on the meditation. So I think I've handled that. We'll see how things go. I want to make sure you're in a comfortable position, relaxed into your body, still as a statue, and focused on your breath rising and falling. Do not delude yourself of imagining your source to be some God outside you. This is what this civilization has been trained to believe. Your source is within yourself. Give yourself up to it. Seek the source within. Merge with it, Ramana Rishi. When we look at everything, it's pretty apparent. I mean, we watch, don't judge, view, and observe. And we can see this training that's been put into place for a very long time. So, what do? You end up believing something that is not true. We've been programmed to believe that we're all of us, everyone on this planet, are spiritually disconnected. And there are all kinds of broken situations with ourselves. We don't realize it at all. Yet we are just used to feeling spiritually numb. And this is how things, because of that, this is how things have materialized on this planet. This is what we viewed over the last, let's say, decade. And everything's been directed to what? Consume. Consume. And then you have the word consumer. We're consumers. We consume. And everything has been geared toward what? Materialism, materialistic society. And then we add, the seduction of it all. A hypnotic effect, which is, it really is a hypnotic effect. And we've been so seduced that we choose because it's so easy for us. And there isn't even an afterthought with it. We choose to focus on what we don't want. Isn't that amazing? We do it because it's easy. It isn't difficult for us to fall into that. None of us are exempt from it. We focus on what we don't want. We create and realize what we don't want. We realize what we don't want. Now, on the flip side, we focus on what we want. It's difficult. It's difficult for people to focus on what they want. It's much easier for us to fall into the, and mind you, we don't do it on purpose. It's not like, yes, I'm going to focus on what I don't want. It's so automatic for us that we do most of the time. This is why so many people's lives are so disarrayed, so to speak. This is why people get so frustrated, irritated with things. And because you add all of that other stuff that has been, we've been trained to believe. We believe that there is it has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with everything outside of us. You add all that together, and, lifetime after lifetime, it's so easy to do that. And we've got this across the board. It's a spiritual amnesia. And we have forgotten how to relax into our spiritual essence and find our own intimate connection with the divine. It's just ignorance. What do? You don't have any comparisons or anything, do we? No. Still, we just follow that. That's the construct. And ignorance of our spiritual nature is the greatest lie that we are living today. It's the cause of every moment of suffering each human being on this planet is currently enduring, and this very now moment. Now, one may think this spiritual drought was created by, mankind, coincidentally, and is not part of the grand divine design. Well, we all know that nothing is by coincidence or without purpose in this universe. And this blind ignorance is within us all on purpose, so that we move more passionately towards a state of awakening. And these intense levels of disconnection only drive us deeper inside ourselves to find our own soul. If we didn't have that, we would probably be more like slugs in the mud. The ego mind helps us. This amnesia helps us. All been orchestrated. And this lifetime we have is meant to be deeply enlightening, a enlightening experience, and it's turning out that way. Is there anything more important than knowing how to access our own direct personal connection to an all-powerful, deep, eternal, loving source of highly intelligent, creative energy that has the magical power to manifest anything our heart desires? There's nothing more vital than to finding happiness in this life than knowing one's spiritual connection, and nothing more exciting than a proven way to access it, which works every single time. No matter how ridiculously stuck any of us feel about our financial situation, relationships, health, sex life, future, there is always a way to reach freedom. And if and when you wish to gain greater spiritual perspective in this life, make the choice today to clarify your personal relationship with the divine. You can see just how far you've come on your spiritual journey. You ask yourself different questions. Remember, this isn't a judgment or analyzing or coming down on yourself. What stops us all from always being in communion with God? How many of us on this planet, in this very now moment, commune with God? Now remember, this isn't religion. This is spiritual. The God, the soul, all of it. Discovery of who and what we are. So you ask yourself, what stops me from always being in communion with God? It's an interesting question, right? And also on top of that, what exactly is my relationship with God like? And we all want to know what it feels like. What does it feel like when we're having a truly intimate connection with God? And these are the divine aspects of ourselves. And how often do we recognize and connect with those aspects? And you make a comparison. We always, comparisons are great. Not judgments, but comparisons. So how, when we're not living with this connection, how do we feel? Compared to when we are living with this connection, how do we feel? Communicating with the source, the God, which is you. How often do you communicate with you, the real you? Not the body you, not the name you, but the real you. How often do you communicate? How often do any of us communicate with our real selves? Now, of course, we all, we look at this God as is the most mysterious thing in this universe. Perhaps because it is the universe. Can't escape it. Can't. Why? Because God exists in everyone and everything, including, which I've had this question asked me several times, you mean to tell me that, those people that you believe are or feel are deeply disconnected? Yeah. And the interesting thing is, have you ever wondered, how could such an amazing presence be so spatially close to us and still be so difficult to feel and see? It's like looking into your own eyes without a mirror. That's about what it's like. We all look out at life through these tiny black holes in our eyes, taking them for granted and not realizing they exist at all because they are so close to us. And when something is too close to us, we are often unaware how precious it truly is. And the same applies to noticing God. We are unaware of God until we take a step back, look deeper into our own reflection in the great mirror that is all around us. Realization of the self is realization of God. It is not an experience of God. Rather, it is an understanding, comprehension that one is God, Ramana Maharishi. There's this divine isness. And it is the most accepting, healing, forgiving energy one could imagine. The isness is the source of deep, eternal love, which, when even momentarily welcomed, we instantly feel the most profound ecstatic joy inside our heart. The knowing that we are eternal spiritual beings moves through us throughout the day like a healing river of eternal liquid love. And the very second we surrender our heart to just the idea of an eternally loving isness, we immediately find real peace, a sense of bliss, and a feeling, real satisfaction that cannot be compared. Knowing this isness is our basic nature. We start radiating like the sun, start shining our own spiritual essence onto everyone in our life. Now, the only reason we may not feel, believe, and know that God is right here within the very center of our bodies, soul, and heart right now is because of one thing blocking the way. Only one thing. Our overly busy, demanding, controlling, and desiring mind. That's what blocks us. Why? Doubt, fear, unknown, anxiety, all those things. And as long as the mind is wanting something, willing something, thinking it is lacking something, trying to reach a better place other than the great isness that's here now, we will easily miss our spiritual path. We will find ourselves living in thoughts about God instead of experiencing the real divinity. Now, when we get too lost in the head, we might end up walking into some highly intellectual, materialistic, and spiritually dry future. And the God source is infinitely complex, yet deeply simple. You may find that God is actually quite easy to experience. The trick is learning what it takes to fully be here, now. To feel the divine isness, we must choose to first begin feeling whatever is up for us in this moment. We must choose to explore how we can let go of the mind and open ourselves up emotionally, feeling everything that is here now. And when we call off the mental search, looking for God out there, and simply feel into the core essence of our being, we find that we have been the ones who were hiding and protecting ourselves from the divine. And God has always been here. It's always here, radiating. Okay, everyone, I'm going to have to switch to a different phone. I keep switching different phones, and I keep getting interrupted. So hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, we'll see how this goes. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. That means you. You choose to be still and know that you are God. You're being still, like in this meditation. Okay? And you stay in this meditation in the quiet time, and you're as still as a statue. Be still and know that I am God. And perhaps the most radical truth that you may discover about this human existence is this. We humans are either existing in some form of suffering or living in some form of bliss. We are either in one or the other. We're either living up in our heads, which most of us on this planet, that's where we're at, or we are in the heart of the God. And once we quiet the mind and open our heart together, we can live a balanced life in both realms of head and heart. Doing this, we then start merging with the infinite mind of God. That's why I always talk about unity, right? All of us unifying on this planet, even though we've been trained in so many different, such a variety of things that are all untruths. When we can remain in this balance 24 hours a day, we will master this lifetime. Then, every thought we think manifests into forming our living reality. And by living in constant emotional connection with the divine from our core, we become a living, bliss-breathing manifestation machine, perpetually creating every beautiful idea we feel and focus upon. And as we all know, there are not many things guaranteed in this life. Yet one thing is 100% guaranteed, is this. At some point, we are going to return to God, which means rediscover the God that we are. It will happen either when your body is still alive or when your body stops breathing. Eventually, you'll feel intimately connected with God again. So there's no reason to worry about when or how. All roads lead back to God. The path ahead and the path behind you lead back to God. God is unavoidable because our past and future are just mental concepts which only exist within this living present moment. And the mind alone is always blind to the divine. It is only with a quiet, surrendered mind that we may access an open, receptive heart which can see God in everyone and everything. And the mind just doesn't care to realize how ignorant it actually is. It doesn't want to see how powerless, unfulfilled, and trapped it is, as this would cause a huge embarrassment to the ego. We're all going to eventually spiritually wake up. Okay? It's not if at all. It's when. The mind realizes its petty search in the outer world to find everlasting satisfaction is spiritually fruitless. And only when the mind surrenders to God do we discover what absolute bliss feels like. By the way, that's our natural state of being. Otherwise, the mind will continue to persist in its addictive habits of seeking fulfillment in the outer world. It will ignore seeing how true bliss is available here now, as it needs to continue its addictive search for years, decades, lifetimes. And the mind is always trying to get its desires met by people, food, substances, money, ideas, and is in the habit of consistently or constantly yearning for something. Yet, as we all know, once the mind gets what it wants, and none of us are exempt from that, it's happy for a short while. And then it's back on the hamster wheel again, searching for fulfillment again and again and again. And it is deeply unaware. It doesn't have a clue that it can never, ever be truly satisfied. Isn't that crazy? It's good to know that whatever happens in this life, there are no real mistakes. God is an infinitely positive creative energy, and this fierce force does not know what a mistake is. Every mistake that we perceive to be real or true is simply the mind forming another judgment. There is universal right or wrong book. There is only deeper shades of truth in which each higher layer only reveals a lighter perspective on our enlightening mission we are here to learn. Possibly the greatest goal of life is to find that God source inside us 24 hours a day. This is the only thing which truly satisfies. Everything else falls vastly short. And feeling into our own personal, intimate connection with the divine is the most important thing you can do with your time each day. Everything else you do is going to be the ego seeking some form of gratification, which, of course, will not last. So we should all have this kind of like a beacon, a big bright neon light. Beware of the ego, as it is easily caught in complaints, negativity, and creating problems that weren't there before. And your only job is to move beyond your ego. Transcend your small self, ego self. Step into the big self that you truly are, God. And when you finally surrender to God at the center of your soul, you will know without a doubt that you have just discovered the most amazing experience of actually coming home. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on your breath rising and falling. The goal of the spiritual path is to become fully conscious. This means to explore what is unconscious or hidden from your plain view. For today, allow whatever you don't care to look at or see within rise to the surface, to be seen, felt, heard, and loved. Get out a piece of paper and pen. Continue writing whatever feelings arise to the surface. Do not stop writing for 30 minutes, even if it's the same words over and over and over again. Continue letting go of whatever is inside you on the paper, releasing it from your unconscious mind. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. You'll return here Friday, October 10, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. After 9:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging call, the rest. We were able to get the tfcc recording by one of our members. Greatly appreciated. So we have that posted on our site, last night's TFCC. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening within you or outside of you. Open your heart. Allow the magic to flow in